There are moments in history when fate does not whisper. It arrives. Not as a prophecy. Not as a warning. But as a person. When Paris, Prince of Troy, stepped onto Spartan soil, the world did not yet know that every love, every vow, every promise made in that moment, would soon echo in the clash of swords and the roar of burning cities. Paris did not come to Sparta as an enemy. He came as a guest. As a prince. As the chosen of Aphrodite. But beneath diplomacy and courtesy, desire moved. And love, or illusion, or madness, or divine manipulation, began its dangerous work. This is the story of the forbidden love that brought Greece and Troy to war. And how a queen and a prince stepped willingly into the fire. The harbor of Sparta glowed under the soft Mediterranean sun. Paris stood at the bow of his ship, cloak fluttering in the wind, eyes fixed on the land Aphrodite promised would change his life. Behind him, sailors worked in silent reverence, for they knew their prince carried a secret destiny. As the ship lowered anchor, Spartan guards approached with caution, spears held high, shields reflecting the bright morning sun. Paris stepped down with grace, posture regal but humble. Soon, King Menelaus himself arrived. A warm smile. A gesture of hospitality. A handshake between two rulers.
Welcome, Prince Paris of Troy. Our halls honor those who come in peace.
Paris bowed slightly, his voice calm.
Sparta's kindness is known across the seas. I am honored to stand here.
They walked together toward the palace, unaware that with every step, Paris was walking deeper into destiny. And closer to the queen who would change his life. Inside the palace, Helen stood waiting, not as a goddess, not as a legend, but as a queen fulfilling her duty. Yet when Paris entered, time shifted. For a heartbeat, the world quieted. Helen's eyes met his. Paris paused. A gentle breath escaped her lips. There was no need for words, their connection was immediate. Some say it was love. Some say it was Aphrodite's enchantment. Some say it was destiny already fulfilled. But in that moment, Helen of Sparta saw the man she would risk everything for. Paris bowed deeply.
Queen Helen. The stories fall short of truth.
Helen smiled softly, not flattered, not amused, but moved.
Troy speaks highly of poetry. Now I see why.
Menelaus noticed their exchange, but interpreted it as simple courtesy. For kings rarely believe they stand at the edge of losing everything. Days passed with feasts, speeches, hunts, and games. Menelaus honored Paris as royal protocol demanded. Paris matched every gesture with diplomacy and charm. But beneath the surface, something darker stirred. Paris sought moments alone, quiet conversations, chance encounters, shared glances. Helen avoided him at first. She was queen. Wife. Mother. The symbol of Spartan pride. Yet every night, she found her thoughts drifting back to him. And every morning, she fought the desire that waited beneath her calm exterior. During a walk through palace gardens, their distance finally broke. Paris reached gently for a single flower, an iris, and offered it to her.
Some beauties must be admired, even when they are beyond reach.
Helen hesitated. Then she took the flower. Just that simple gesture, a hand extended, a flower accepted, shifted the balance of the world. As night fell across Sparta, Paris sat alone on a balcony overlooking the sea. The wind carried the scent of salt and jasmine. But another presence lingered, Aphrodite. Soft golden dust swirled, and the goddess of love appeared. Her voice was silk and fire intertwined.
Why do you hesitate, Paris? She is the woman I promised you.
Paris clenched his jaw.
She is married. A queen. Greece will never forgive this.
Aphrodite stepped closer.
Love is not granted to the cautious, but to the bold.
She rested a hand over his heart.
Helen already walks toward you. All she needs is to see that your heart calls her.
Paris closed his eyes. When he opened them, Aphrodite was gone. But her influence remained. One evening, Menelaus left Sparta to attend a funeral in Crete. Helen remained behind. Paris knew this was the moment destiny had carved for him. That night, under moonlight, he found Helen standing at the palace balcony. No guards. No courtiers. No king. Just them. Paris approached slowly.
Helen. I have tried to remain silent. But my heart speaks even when I forbid it.
Helen closed her eyes.
You are dangerous, Paris.
Only because the world fears what it cannot control.
Helen trembled, not from fear, but from truth. And said,
If we cross this line, we cannot return.
Paris stepped closer, close enough that their breaths intertwined.
Then let us never return.
Silence. Then Helen whispered.
I knew. From the moment I saw you.
Their lips finally met. And history shifted. Stories differ. Some say Helen fell willingly, choosing passion over duty. Others insist Paris kidnapped her, taking her against her will. But myth is not made from certainty. It is made from consequence. What we know is this. Helen left Sparta, and boarded Paris's ship. Paris believed love justified everything. Helen believed destiny demanded her to follow. Whether seduced or stolen. Helen left her homeland, and the world changed. Before dawn, Paris and Helen stood at the Spartan harbor. Sailors loaded the final crates and supplies. Helen looked back toward the palace. A final glance. A final breath. A final memory of the life she was abandoning. Paris took her hand firmly.
From this moment forward, you are not the Queen of Sparta. You are Helen of Troy.
The ship's ropes were cut. Waves carried them away. And the sun began to rise, as if trying to reveal their betrayal to the world. But it was too late. As the ship moved across the sea, storms gathered. Winds howled. Waves crashed. Lightning carved the sky. Some sailors whispered, "The gods are angry." Others said, "The world resists fate." Helen gripped the railing, fear tightening her chest.
Paris, what have we done?
Paris placed his cloak over her shoulders.
We followed our hearts. The gods will protect us.
But among the thunder, another goddess watched. Hera. Betrayed. Enraged. And beside her, Athena, cold and silent. Their fury would soon become an army. Days later, the storm faded. Troy emerged on the horizon, golden walls, proud towers, shining in the sun. Helen's breath caught. She was no longer a queen returning home. She was a stolen treasure entering a kingdom that did not yet know she would become its curse. Paris smiled.
Welcome home.
But not everyone would welcome her. For Troy did not just receive a queen. It received a reason for war. When Menelaus returned and found Helen gone, his grief turned to fury. He reminded Greece of the oath they swore. To defend the husband of Helen, at any cost. One by one, kingdoms rallied. Ships were built. Armor sharpened. Banners raised. The greatest army in Greek history prepared to sail for Troy. All because of love. Or desire. Or a promise spoken by gods who play with mortal hearts. The world now moved toward war, a war fueled by beauty, pride, betrayal, and fate. Helen and Paris were together. But peace was gone. And the drums of war had begun. Next story will be episode 6, The Oath of the Greek Kings. Why all Greek heroes were forced to go to war.